Hello, everyone. I'm Ralph, a software engineer here at Genesys, and I would like to introduce the Genesys Cloud CX Accelerators. Accelerators are another way for you to integrate other tools, systems, services, and applications with Genesys Cloud, along with our suite of resources like blueprints, guides, blogs, API Explorer, and so much more. They are sample configurations that you can directly deploy into your Genesys Cloud organization. It utilizes our tool called CXS Code. It is a tool that declaratively manages Genesys Cloud resources and configurations across organizations using Terraform, which is an open source infrastructure as a code tool. You may check out the DevDrop made by our developer engagement director, John Quiaoit, explaining CXS code, or you may also read our blog about it. Both of the links are in the video description. There are benefits for using accelerators. They are an easier way for developers to jumpstart on already existing solutions for integration. The installable community-based assets allow you to set up solutions quickly. It's just like installing an app in your phone or adding a plugin into your browser. They also reflect Genesys Cloud's use of best practices for technologies and lessen the risk of setting up problematic solutions. So to get started, simply go to the Genesys App Foundry, which is appfoundry.genesys.com. So this is the page. And on the upper right side, there are filters. And the third one is the accelerator. So just click on that. And you can see these are our available accelerators. There are still a few of them, but we will be deploying more accelerators in the future. So for each accelerator, so let's pick one, this web messaging triage bot. So for each accelerator, you can see the details of the solution. And there's also a diagram that shows how it works. And the other thing is that it also shows the Genesys Cloud objects that are going to be created when the accelerator is installed. So for this solution, it will create these objects. So for integration, it will create one, and the data action for that integration. It will also create two wrap-up codes. So these are the names that it's going to be created. It will create a queue, the messenger configurations and deployments, and of course, the message flow, the inbound message and the bot flow for this solution. So if you want to install an accelerator, for example, this one, just click the Get It Now button. So yeah, you have to log in for this since you want to install this in a particular organization. So let's try to do that. Let's log in into one of my test environments. So again, once you've logged in, just um, click Get It Now button. So after that, we'll be providing the details necessary for the solution. So usually, accelerators might need credentials or Genesis objects like queue names, division names, email, etc. So for this solution, we'll be needing the client credentials, the email, and the division. So for the client credentials, these are necessary for the data action that we'll be using as indicated in the objects that will be created. So we'll be needing the ID and the secret, which you can create easily. So for the email, it will require the user email to be added to the queue. And then lastly, the division, which is the division that the flow will be deployed. So let me just provide that for a second. So let's get one that I've just created recently. Oops, there was a problem. Let's try to refresh it. So let's just get my client credentials, be pasting it. Then for my email, I'll just use my own email and then the division for the environment I'll be using. So after that, once you have provided the details needed, just click the review button. So this is where you can check if the details you have provided are valid. And if everything is okay, just click the submit button and it will then install it to your Genesys organization. Okay. So once installed, there might be some post-installation instructions or additional options for you to customize the accelerator. So this has been installed correctly and it was successful. So when we go to the post-installation instructions, it has instructions for you on how to deploy the web messenger to your website. And for the customized part, it suggests to go to the Genesys Cloud Architect in order for you to customize the messenger flow to satisfy to the needs of your use case. But for now, let's just go to the messenger configuration just so that we can see that this object was deployed in our organization. So I think this is the link that we can go to. So yeah, in here, oh, it's loading. So the web messaging triage bot deployment is deployed in our organization, and using this, you can deploy this to your website or you can test it for when you're gonna try to customize the flow from this solution. You can just copy this and run it somewhere if you want. And we can also check the architect to see if the messenger flow and the bot flow is added to this organization. So let's go to the inbound message and yep, it's here. So you can see the web messaging triage bot flow and also the bot, which is the web messaging quick response bot. So you can now freely test and customize the solution to fit your needs. And with accelerators, it's easy as that. So as I've said, there are currently a few accelerators that are live currently, but again, we will be adding more in the future. So do always visit the App Foundry if we release new accelerators that can help your use case in your organization. So now, what happens if you're trying to install an accelerator, but then it failed? So I screenshot a case that I was trying to install the accelerator, but then it had an error like this. So there are two main reasons why it failed. There are two common cause of error. So the first possible cause is that the instance of a certain object that the accelerator is trying to create had already exceeded. So, for example, for the integration type, you can only have 10 instances of it. And when the accelerator is trying to create another one, it will have an error. And then the second one is the name of the object already exists. So that's why accelerators provide the objects that are going to be created and the name of those objects. So do check your organization if the certain objects limit had reached already or the name of the object already exists. But with all those already in check, you have checked that there is still enough slot for that certain instance or the name of the object haven't existed yet. So there might be some other problems that can be addressed by contacting us via the customer care, which you can do that with our guide, and you can see it here on this article. So do try to reach us, and we'll try to help you install the accelerator as much as possible. So with that, that's the Genesys Cloud CX accelerators. Please do also visit the Genesys Cloud Developer Center for the latest blogs, blueprints, accelerators, guides, DevDrops, and other resources. I hope to see you again on my next DevDrop. Bye.